how to build texture when aquascaping with mostly green plants. I know that this can be kind of confusing to the novice, to the amateur, and even sometimes I've noticed this in expert tanks for sure. Building texture with green plants can be quite difficult when you're trying to establish some kind of tone in an area. Now, I know a lot of people out there will talk about the rule of thirds, which ultimately becomes pretty confusing to most people. So what I like to stick with is color. So the color variant of the green, how light or dark that it is, and how the texture of the leaf grows along with height. So I hopefully can give you a tip on how to aquascape your tank in a rule of thirds, but let's just stick with an easier rule of thirds. Short plants towards the front, tall plants towards the back, medium height plants in the middle. Dark green plants I typically find to land somewhere in the middle of the tank because they have a tendency to wash out when they're in the back of the tank. Bright green plants are typically shorter in height, often carpeting, so I would normally keep those in the front of the tank. There are a few plants that fall into the light and or changing from green to yellow or orange or red as they grow taller and taller and taller. I would typically keep those to the back of the tank. Now the three plants I'm using as examples here in this aquarium would be the Pogostemon helferi, otherwise known as downaway. That plant I'm specifically going to keep to the front of the aquarium because I find it quite easy to keep it low in height, and it almost always, for me personally, will grow a vibrant bright green, and thusly keeping it short, bright green, and the texture of the Pogostemon helferi is almost always frilly, going to be a little bit wild, and it's going to give a star shape along with the bright green color. The second plant I'm going to be dealing with in this tank is the Eriocaulon Vietnam, which does grow. Initially, it starts out this kind of bright, vibrant green color as it starts, but as it matures, it will eventually darken and become kind of a grassy look, frond situation. Now, it will grow to what I would consider to be a medium height, approximately 6, maybe 8 inches at its total height. I've never seen it get any taller than that, but it does grow a bit taller than it just being a carpeting plant. But it does make this nice, bushy, dark green accent once it fully matures. The last plant in the back of the tank would be the Bacopa Caroliniana, which, as you can see, is kind of spreading around as I trim and propagate stems, and it's kind of filling out and doing some weird things. But I'm definitely focusing on keeping it to the back of the tank. The reason for that is this plant grows super tall. It starts out really lime green, light green in color, and as it grows closer and closer to the intensity of the lights, it will grow red coloring and be kind of have these like red veins on it and stuff like that. So we do kind of go through a transitional period of it being, you know, medium height and green, and as it grows taller and taller, it gets and kind of changes color. So over the lifetime of the aquarium, this actually becomes really nice to be able to track and kind of see what's going on and kind of go through what I would consider to be sort of a sunset period as the aquascape matures and does have an overall different visual appeal. Hopefully this was a super helpful video for you to maybe kind of get some ideas, get some things going in your head. If it did, go ahead, throw a comment, hit the like button, push all the friggin' YouTube buttons. There's a million of them nowadays. And by the way, this is a fan-funded affair around here, and if you want to jump on board with that, there's buttons and links and all that stuff down below. Thanks for stopping by. Later.